Our rotation is not meant for any or all farms, but it works for us. And so if you get into organic farming, I think the two key words are diversity and what works. I'm Charlie Johnson, and I'm with Johnson Farms. We operate a organic, large-scale grain operation south of Madison, South Dakota. We grow corn, oats, soybeans, and alfalfa as our four major crops. We farm about 2,500 acres total, 1,600 of which is in tillable or row crop. With our rotation, we divide our tillable acres up into about 6 equal portions, which means there's about 250 or 300 acres in each part of that 6-year rotation. What I really like about our rotation is that it's pretty much an up and down. 50% of the time it's in row crops, and 50% of the time it's in solid seeded crop, which is either the oats or the alfalfa. We grow oats at the beginning of the rotation as a nurse crop of alfalfa, and then alfalfa hay for 2 years. And then after that, we go into row crops for 3 years, which is soybeans, corn, and soybeans. With our preparation to go into row crops, it usually will start with the fall season the year before when it's in alfalfa, and we will chisel plow that field. We'll use points once to break the sod, and then we go twice with 16-inch sweeps. The sweeps are 12 inches on center, and so that pretty much eliminates the volunteer growth of the alfalfa into the following year when we plant the soybeans. We will go in with a field cultivator, usually early in season. And what we do too is when we have extra oat seed on hand, is I will broadcast a crop of oats in with that field cultivator. For example, we're field cultivating the last part of April, the alfalfa sod. We'll let the oats come up for 2 to 3 weeks in May as a green manure. And then what we do is we run the field cultivator the day before we plant the soybeans. And then we also terminate that lush new oats crop that's just starting to come up. It's about 2-3 inches high. And so we feed the soil again that way. And it helps to camouflage a little bit of that tillage effect too of the soil by having organic matter being worked back into the ground. And then after soybean planting, if the conditions are right, we'll try to rotary hoe before emergence, like maybe day 4, day 6. Soybeans will come up. We will then rotary hoe on a good warm day, about 10 to 12 days after emergence, and when the soybean rolls are just leafing out. And then we'll row cultivate after that. And then we'll usually row cultivate a second time before there's canopy. And then after canopy, we'll walk every row of our corn and soybean fields in late July, early August. For every wild sunflower cocklebur that we can eliminate, we're going to eliminate dozens the following year. And so by just making that as an annual practice, it helps to control our seed bank. So then soybeans go to harvest. And then after harvest, the soybeans are broadcasted with a winter rye. And we just work that in with a chisel plow. And then it greens up the following spring as a manure crop. We'll eliminate that rye usually in early May before it gets too tall and too bothersome. Then we'll let some weeds grow, and then we plant corn toward the end of May, middle to end of May. And it basically follows the soybean situation where we'll drag or harrow the ground before emergence, rotary hoe, cultivate a second time, and the crew also walks our corn rows for escapes of broadleaves, which are usually the cocklebur and wild sunflower. In the fall, the corn stalks are shredded with a stalk chopper. After the stalk chopper, we just go through with a simple chisel plow. So 90% or more of that residue is still on top of the ground, so we maintain good wind erosion control through the winter months. And then after corn, we go to soybeans one more time. With a diversity and rotation, you've got alfalfa or small grain, and let's say things turn droughty late summer. Well, you can have a crop of oats and you can have a crop of hay earlier in the season, and it'll produce for you. And so that diversity just gives you a lot better things going on for you.